When I was in Japan this past October at the Japan Mobility Show, I completely ignored a specialty booth from Toyota. And it's actually Toyota Auto Body. If you know what Toyota Auto Body is, well, good for you. If you don't, like most of us out there, I'm going to give you a brief history lessons because we got an exciting patent of a vehicle that they showed at the Japan Mobility Show. And it could be our next Sienna. All right, if you're a minivan lover, smash the like button. Toyota Auto Body, they're quite impressive. They make the Land Cruiser J300 series. They make the Lexus LX. They make the 70 series. They are the mecca of van production over in Japan. The Hiace, even the Coaster is there. I mean, the Coaster is more of a bus, right? But we have the Alphard and Velfire, the Noah and the Voxy. The Sienna is not made there, and I don't think the Lexus LM is made there. But they also make the Grand Ace. And back in the day, they actually made the Previa, which preceded our beloved Sienna that we have in the North American market. And we'll talk about the Sienna and its future here in a little bit. But with that being said, at the Japan Mobility Show, I was interested in the booth. It was so busy, so I didn't get time to make videos with these vehicles. They're all vans, by the way. And man, do I love the Velfire and the Alphard, but I just didn't have the time to sit down, well, not sit down, but to give you a walk around, because I'm like, these vehicles are never going to come to the United States. Not so fast. This vehicle right here, well, not the RoboCop looking one, but the vehicle that kind of looks like a mix between, I don't know, an FJ Cruiser or this TJ Cruiser we had a few years ago. It's a mix between the Sienna, and it's kind of a mix between the old Honda Element as well, if you want to think about it that way. This has just been trademarked, or should I say patented. And here are the patented images. And really, I can only compare maybe one or two of the images compared to the vehicle that was on show there over in Japan. Daytime running lights look identical between the two. The nighttime lights are identical. And just because they patent this doesn't mean it's going to come to the United States. And just because they patent doesn't mean it's coming to Japan either. It's maybe just them protecting their design. But honestly, it looks like a one-to-one spitting image. I do not see any differences here between the two models. Maybe the windows here are a little bit different compared to the thicker bezels we have on the concept here. But that's splitting hairs because I'm not really finding any differences here between this, well, besides the roof rack, right? They're not going to trademark a roof rack. But I mean, look at this boxy vehicle. This, my friends, would be if Mitsubishi brought the Delica back to the United States. This thing is going to be, hopefully, if it comes, right, it would be an off-roading, super capable Swiss Army knife of a camper van that you could use for everyday purposes as well with a hybrid engine. Or it could be fully electric. That we don't know. Do I think it's cool? I think it's cool because it's unlike anything we've ever seen before. Just in it, like the front and the back look nearly identical. Isn't that quite ridiculous? The X van gear concept is designed to accommodate diversifying lifestyles and let everyone enjoy life. New category that blends the ample space of passenger minivan with the active style of an SUV. And that's kind of what the Delica, the imported Delicas into the United States over the years is able to do since it has all-wheel drive. Interior providing a living room feel thanks to the simple driver's seat area as well as the bright sofa-like seats and expansive ceiling. We'll talk about how tall the ceiling here is a little bit. Loading and unloading of hobby items such as bicycles or fishing rods is made possible because the B-pillar is gone. Check this out. No B-pillar. Front door slides forward. Back door slides back, and you just have this immense opening. This would be an absolute dream to put the kids in the car to have this sort of space. And just think, you can park really close to something. You don't have to worry about dinging your doors because they just slide forward and back. I love minivans, but this is taking the minivan and making it better because the front doors are sliding. It's awesome. 3 rows of seats offering 6 seat arrangement patterns adapted for various uses, including rotating the passenger seat and turning the second row seat into a table. All right, so let's break down the images here a little bit more. The interior. Well, this is the highest res I got. I'm sorry, I've looked around. I haven't found any higher resolution of this interior. It's super minimal. I like how vertical everything is in here. It feels very spacious, very tall windows. You have a center screen here. That's going to be your touchscreen for multimedia. And then you have a screen right below the window line that's going to act as your speedometer, potential map duplication there as well. I have a feeling that this is a fully battery electric, but it could be a hybrid. So I'm not going to rule that out. With this stubby front end, you could probably shove in a hybrid powertrain underneath the hood. But here's the thing. There is no cargo space. Check this out. The third row of seats is right against the rear of this vehicle. That makes me believe that it would be insanely difficult to certify this here in the United States for sale due to our crash protection laws. I just don't think its rear collision would be strong enough. That's what I'm worried about, even though I want this on the US market really badly. You can see the rail systems on the floor here to slide the seats around as well. Now, this picture is not, I mean, they took off the back door completely to give you a better idea of the interior, but 3 different glass panels. It's pretty impressive. You can fold the second row seat into a table, flip the passenger seat in the front around as well. It's pretty darn cool, and it's unlike most any other minivans out there on the market. All right, so I got a spreadsheet for you guys. X-Van Gear is what this thing is called. Maybe it's the next Sienna, but I highly, highly doubt it. If it comes to the United States, they might remove that third row altogether, so you actually have some cargo space behind the second row. So maybe it's a 5-passenger vehicle here if they brought it to the United States. All right, so let's keep going. The length of it is shorter than the Sienna and definitely shorter also than the Alphard and Velfire. Actually, the same length as a Noah and Voxy. Again, the Noah and Voxy, these are, they're almost like the Mazda. Remember the Mazda 5? Maybe you don't. It's kind of a true minivan for the United States market. A little bit bigger than the Sienna over there in Japan, but compared to our minivan standards, it's really small. It's probably like mid-size crossover size, like a RAV4 made into a minivan, kind of that idea. The width here is very impressive, and typically when you see a width this big, it might lead it to actually being a North American vehicle in some shape or form. The Sienna is obviously much wider. The Velfire and Alphard are just a tad wider, but it's noticeably wider than the Noah and Voxy. The height of this vehicle is also very impressive, which will improve its utility. I could stick my Grom in here, no problem. It's much taller than the Sienna, and it's just a hair shorter than the Alphard and Velfire. And it's quite a bit taller than the Noah and Voxy as well. If I go back to the press release here, they also give interior dimensions, interior length, interior width, interior height. So that's very important for passenger space as well as cargo space that they give these dimensions. However, they say occupant capacity is only 6. That is quite small, which is surprising, right? Because the Sienna is 7 to 8, the Alphard and Velfire, depending if you get an ultra luxury model, can be 4 all the way up to 8. Even the Sienna, the tiny Sienna, has 6 to 7 seats. This X-Van Gear is only 6 seats. And if it comes to North America, it might be a 3-row delete, kind of like what happened with the Prius V. People have been asking for the Prius V. The Prius V has a huge cult following here in the United States, but you take the efficiency of the Prius and you kind of put it in this larger lift back van-like vehicle, which was the Prius V. V stood for versatility, I believe, not for van, even though it looked like a van. This would be the true successor to the Prius V, in my opinion, as well as some sort of spiritual successor to the Honda Element. You could say it's also the spiritual successor in some ways to the Scion XB. But remember the Koyo-Bako, I think that's what it's, Koyo-Bako electric minivan that I detailed for you guys when I was in Japan. That thing's awesome, but this might be even better. if it comes to the United States. Do you want this van here? Do you want the X van, X gear? And one last thing. There are rumors circulating here in the States that the Sienna is going back to Japan for production. Not saying back to Japan. I should say it is going to Japan, because the Sienna was never produced in Japan. It's only been produced here in North America. It is currently produced at the Indiana plant, but there are rumors coming out of that area, and my sources have said it's not, don't take it, just take it with a grain of salt, but we're just playing with some hypotheticals here. The Sienna gets canceled, at least the North American made model. And then they use Toyota Auto Body, builds the best minivans in the world and the best full-size vans in the world. And the Sienna comes from there. That would be the dream, to have a minivan built in Japan. Could it be this vehicle? No, I don't think this is a direct replacement for the Sienna. It's just too small, and there's no cargo space unless it's a BEV. And that's another rumor I'm hearing about the Sienna. Again, take it with a grain of salt. I don't believe it, but it could be true. But the rumors are saying that there could be a next-gen Sienna that's fully battery electric. I just don't think the market's ready for that here in the United States. Nowhere close. I think hybrid and plug-in hybrid is going to be the long-term Sienna minivan, like stronghold. There's no point in making a fully battery electric minivan, in my opinion, for Toyota. Give us a plug-in hybrid from Japan. That'd be pretty cool. Or a standard hybrid alongside of it would be excellent for different price points and different power outputs. We know the plug-in hybrid would be over 300 horsepower, which would be fantastic in such a large vehicle. But I don't want to get your hopes up, but these patents get me excited because I loved this vehicle. It caught my attention every single time I walked by it at the Japan Mobility Show. It's such a unique design, sliding doors front and back. You guys know I have a soft spot for anything that has sliding doors. That means it's pretty much a van, in my opinion. I love minivans, and if we get this thing in America, oh man, it would be hard for me to pick this or the mini Land Cruiser FJ. Let me know. I mean, obviously, I'm a sucker for sliding doors, especially having kids and the idea of the versatility here, but it's awfully, awfully interesting. Is it cool looking? Yes. Is it ugly? Yes. But that's what makes it cool. And it's not the first time they patented something, and I've also got my hopes up. Remember the mini FJ Cruiser, the baby cruiser here? This was patented. We still don't have it on the market, but it could be coming by the end of this year, at least some form of this cute little cruiser here. Even on the Lexus end, we had patents for this IS, this electrified IS, but this actually, we could see this as a hybrid or a gasoline IS here in the future too. And Lexus also trademarked the LFR as this vehicle. And let's just hope all of them come. They could just be protecting their designs, which I'm almost positive that's what they're doing. But some of these have to materialize into production form. And the more sliding doors we have in North America, the better off we are for it. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.